Today, we are here to discuss on industrial disputes. This is actually one of the most important things which every organization tries to avoid. Whenever there are employers and employees, definitely there will be differences of opinion. But every organization tries to see that it does not develop into a dispute. So let's see what is a dispute. So an dispute is a difference of opinion between the employer and the employer, or the employer and the employees, or between employees and employees. So this can be a difference of opinion on any issues which may be connected to the organization. And we can see that there are different causes for industrial disputes. One of the major reasons for industrial disputes is demand for pay and benefit hike. One of the things that has to be noted is there will always be a difference of opinion connected to compensation and benefits. We know that every organization, the management tries to pay less and get the employees to work more, whereas the employees want to work less and get more pay. So this will definitely create a difference of opinion. And whenever the employees feel that the pay that the management is giving is not up to the mark, or the benefits that they are getting is not as per the industry standards, definitely there will be a dispute. So this is a major cause for industrial dispute. The second is demand for hygienic and safe working conditions. Every management is expected to provide hygienic and safe and healthy working conditions to the employees. When the employees are dissatisfied, maybe there are not adequate number of restrooms, maybe there are not adequate number of washrooms, maybe the conditions in which these things are maintained are not good enough. All these can lead to disputes. So this definitely is another important cause for industrial dispute. The third one is demand for labor welfare and social security measures. Every company tries to see that they are able to retain their employees. Getting the employees is very good, but it is very, very essential that the organization is capable of retaining the employees for a longer period. So one of the ways in which they try to do it is by giving them adequate welfare measures and social security measures. So when the employee feels that if they are not getting as many safety measures or security measures, social security measures, as is given in other organizations, definitely there will be a dispute. The next is demand for recognition and appreciation. This is again a major cause. Sometimes the management is biased or discriminative. Some of the employees will be applauded, whereas the services of others may not be recognized or appreciated. This will definitely lead to feelings of ill use, which can cause disputes in an organization. The next is demand for justice. This is again a major cause for industrial disputes. When the organization's employees feel that they are not being treated well or they are not being given justice, this can create problems. The next is external interference. This is essentially true of organizations wherein we have trade unions. In all these organizations, the external interference or the interference of parties other than the government can create, other than the management and the organization can create problems. The next is defective leadership. When the leadership which is expected to guide the employees is not good enough, or the decisions which is taken by the management is against the needs of the employees, this will definitely lead to problems or disputes. The next is inter-union rivalry. This is again a major cause of disputes in organizations where there are large number of unions. So definitely the rivalry between the different unions can cause problems within the organization. And finally, the lack of proper communication. This is again a major cause wherein when there is no proper communication between the management and the employees, proper measures will not be given, proper information will not be given to the employees regarding the policies of the management. Definitely it can lead to disputes. Now moving on to the outcome of disputes. When we speak about the outcome of disputes, there are plenty. One of the ways in which the employees respond or react against this dispute is by strikes. There are different types of strikes which are used by the employees. These strikes are ways in which organizations, employees are trying to say that they are not happy with what is provided by the management. The second is picketing. So when you speak about picketing, picketing is a process in which the employees forbid the employers from entering the premises of the organization. So they may sit outside the organization and stop the people from entering the organization to work. So this is again a way or outcome of industrial dispute, or a way in which the employees respond or react to the problems of the organization, or the ways in which organizations' employees show their unhappiness against the management. The third is gherao. Gherao is a process wherein the employees surround the management or the representatives of the management and sit among them so that they are not allowed to work. These people will be sitting in another process is actually called the gherao. Gherao is a process in which the employees move into the management representatives' offices and occupy places, not allowing those representatives to move or to work. The next is actually lockouts. So lockouts is a process in which they do not allow the organization to work at all. And finally, boycott of work. So boycott is a process wherein the employees stop working, or boycott work, or refuse to work, which also will have a negative impact on the productivity of the organization. Now, when you look into the various types of machineries which are available in the organization to take care of industrial disputes, we can see that there are two different types. We have the preventive machinery as well as the settlement machinery. When you speak about the preventive machinery, these are the different ways the organization has to see that the disputes do not escalate into the outcomes like strikes or lockouts or boycotts. And settlement machinery is where you already have a dispute which is hyped, so that it has to be dealt with, so that it can be finally taken care of. Now, when you look into the preventive machinery, the first way is actually the workers' participation in management. This is an important and interesting process wherein we have worker representatives in the management. They have in different levels, right from the floor councils to work councils up to the worker director and the management. So there is somebody to voice the concerns of the employees to the management. The second is collective bargaining. So collective bargaining is actually a process in which the employees come together and negotiate for their needs with the management together. The third is actually the grievance procedure. So the grievance procedure which is there in the organization will help the management to take care of disputes before it escalates to a higher level. Next is the tripartite bodies. These are bodies in which you have representatives of the management, representatives of the employees, and representatives of the government coming together to solve the problems. And finally, we have the code of discipline. So in many cases, if the code of discipline is actually followed in the organization, to an extent, these industrial disputes can be controlled. So following the code of discipline is again another preventive machinery. Now, let's look into the settlement machinery. We have the works committee. This is actually a committee which is formed by the representatives of the employees. So these employees will come together and solve the problems which may be there between the employees and employees, or employees and supervisors, or employees and the management. The second is conciliation. So conciliation is actually a process wherein both the parties will come together, speak about the problem, and then try to settle it. So for it, you have the conciliation officers, and you also have something which is called the conciliation board. So these are parties which will help in this conciliation process. The next is the court of inquiry. So once it moves into the court of inquiry, it becomes legal. So there is a third party which is getting involved. Right from there is a third party which is getting involved in solving the problem. Voluntary arbitration. When you speak about voluntary arbitration, here you have the problem, the person having the problem, and the person who against whom that a problem is there actually approaches a third party who is actually agreeable to both these parties, who will hear the problem and come out with a solution. So this is actually called voluntary arbitration. And finally, we have adjudication. Adjudication is a process wherein it actually moves into the court of law, wherein you have the labor courts, the industrial tribunals, and the national tribunals at different levels. So when you speak about the adjudication process, it actually leaves all these conciliation processes, and finally, whatever is the decision which is given by this legal authority will be final and binding. So every organization should see that it does not actually escalate to reaching the settlement machinery. It should be sorted out within the preventive machinery itself. If possible, we have to prevent industrial disputes from happening in an organization, because this is one of the ways in which organization loses working days and the productivity of the employees. So that is all for today. Thank you.